Hi, everybody. I'm attorney Aiden Kramer with the Law Office of Aiden Kramer in Colorado, and you're watching All Up in Ya Business. What I'm going to do in this episode and a few of the next ones is dive into some details about trademarks. There are a lot of concepts and a lot of particulars when it comes to getting a trademark that most people, unless you're an attorney who deals with trademarks, you're not familiar with. But there are important things to know if you're considering getting a trademark or if you're in the process of getting a trademark. These things are things that you're probably going to deal with at some point. So in this first episode, I'm going to talk about some of the things that you can't trademark. And when I say can't, there are some caveats to that, but in general, these are some of the things that are more difficult or that you can't trademark. The first thing that you can't trademark is something that is primarily a surname. So if you want to get a trademark for your business's name, if the name is mostly your personal name, you're going to have a harder time getting that trademarked. Let's use my business, for example, the Law Office of Aiden Kramer. There are a few problems with this. The first one being that it's Aiden Kramer, the Law Office of Aiden Kramer. The trademark office doesn't like to trademark things that are primarily somebody's name. So I would have a hard time getting a trademark over my business's name because it's mostly just my name. The next thing that you can't trademark is something that is overly descriptive or suggestive. And this means something that describes the goods or services that your business provides. So let's look at mine again, the Law Office of Aiden Kramer. The other reason I can't get that trademarked is because it says the Law Office of Aiden Kramer. That lets you know that I'm a law office. I provide legal services. The trademark itself, the Law Office of Aiden Kramer, is far too descriptive to get a trademark because it's just describing what I do and the services that I offer. The next type of thing that is difficult to get trademarked is one that is primarily geographic. So if your business's name has some indication of where you're located, let's say my business was Colorado Legal Services, I wouldn't be able to get that trademarked because the Colorado is just describing where I'm located or where I serve people. And then, of course, going back to the descriptive part, legal services, I wouldn't be able to get that trademarked because all I'm doing is telling you where I am and what I do. And the trademark office frowns upon those kinds of trademarks. And then finally, a trademark that is primarily ornamental is difficult to get trademarked as well. I talk to a lot of you who are clothing designers, which is great. I had no idea there were so many clothing designers and people who wanted to start clothing lines out there, but there are a lot of you. And part of the problem that I see when I'm working with these people who want to start clothing lines is that they want to trademark a logo or an image that they're going to use just on t-shirts or just on their apparel. The logo is only going to be used on their apparel, and that is considered ornamental. So if you have a phrase or an image that you want to put onto clothing or onto a product and that's its primary use is being on that product, then that might be considered ornamental and you might have a hard time getting that trademarked. So I said that these can't be trademarked, but that there are a few caveats to that. That is true. There are a few ways to get around some of these restrictions of what you can and cannot trademark. And you're going to have to stay tuned for the next couple of episodes to find out how you can get around those restrictions. When it comes to trademarks, there's so much more to it than most people are aware of. And because of that, it's always a good idea to work with an attorney if you're trying to get a trademark or if you're interested in getting a trademark, because an attorney will let you know if you even can trademark whatever it is you're trying to get trademarked. If you would like any assistance getting a trademark or are interested in getting a trademark, please feel free to contact me. My phone number and email are below. Be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss those next episodes with all the answers to the questions that I posed. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm Aiden Kramer, and I'll see you next time.